maybe you're looking at starting content creation, or even if you've been doing content creation for a little while, you might be wondering where you actually should be putting your content, the context of your content in different forms. So let's break this down. What does this actually mean? So, when we're looking at this, it kind of breaks down to a couple of different points. Is this something that you can use in multiple forms? And one big thing that I've seen a lot of different creators talking about more recently, especially, is repurposing content or making slight changes and posting it on multiple things. Now, this doesn't mean just taking straight one thing to the other. So, this doesn't really mean just taking your whole 6-hour Twitch stream and just posting it on YouTube. Some people do that, but it's not really the best way to utilize that platform. A lot of people don't want to go onto YouTube and watch a 6-hour thing. And, you might have in there bathroom breaks, or you had to get up and get a snack, or you had to let the dog outside. And people don't want to be watching that on YouTube. That happens live because obviously you're live and you're going to have to go to the bathroom or something during that 6-hour live stream. But when people are going to a platform like YouTube to look at a specific video like that, they don't want to watch that. So taking some time to edit out breaks like that, or condensing, or even creating multiple videos from that one stream is how you can start to maximize that repurposing of the content. So it's not a direct copy paste and just put that over somewhere else. You have to look at what the platform is doing and what people are going to that platform for. Kind of easy one that you can do is a lot of people are taking advantage of both video and audio style formats for podcasting. This one is a little bit more copy paste than what I was just talking about, because this one you can record yourself like I am now with this camera. You can record, do a podcast, and then just take the audio and upload that to podcast style formats like on Anchor or the Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And it's the same content, but what you're ending up doing when you're repurposing and putting this content on multiple platforms is you're reaching a wider audience. So it's much more likely that you're actually going to be able to reach more people. And maybe some of the people that hear the audio podcast, if you mention that you are also on YouTube, or you connect in the various forms while you're talking throughout the podcast, then it can attract people from the audio only to come into your YouTube. Then going into the next point here, how easy does it feel to create in that format? One of the biggest things, I'm going to keep using gaming as a reference, but if you're trying to talk about something while you're gaming and it just doesn't feel like it works very well, you might want to consider a different platform for that. Maybe that's something where you can record a video instead of doing that while you're live streaming. If you are recording audio only and you're realizing that you're struggling to really describe what you're talking about because it's a lot easier to show what you're talking about, then again, maybe an audio format isn't going to work very well for that content that you're doing. And it might be better to do as a YouTube video, or maybe even that could be a live stream. Certain topics within your content can change the form you use. This kind of relates to the first point that I was talking about repurposing content. The biggest thing here is looking at, even within your own content that you're doing, how relevant is it for the different forms, for different platforms? So I have a couple of examples here. Let's say you have a food related channel. If you're making food, it's probably not going to work to be trying to do an audio podcast for creating a dish. People don't want to hear that. They want to see it, right? They want to see the food. They want to see the process you're using to actually make that recipe, make that food. That's probably not a good thing to do. It doesn't mean that you can't do food related stuff. It just means that an audio format is not going to work very well for that topic. So that's when you can say, okay, well, does the audience just want the recipe, or do they want to see you make it? And then you can maybe decide, well, if they're looking for just the recipe, maybe I can do a blog post or a short form video where it's a quick, just here's the ingredients, and you kind of show the ingredients flashing up on the screen like you'll see on TikTok or maybe even something like Instagram. And you can utilize that type of format if you actually feel like your audience wants to see you make the whole thing, they want to see the whole process. That's when you can do a longer form video on YouTube, for example, or maybe even live streaming you making that dish. So that's how you can think about it. Doesn't mean you have to change completely what you want to do. If you want to be food related, just figure out how the thing you want to do fits with the different formats. Now, let's take another example here. If you're looking at maybe specific tips or ideas, those also might be better in a shorter form content or as a podcast rather than something like live streaming. If you're only going to be spending 15, 20, 30 minutes talking about some tips and tricks for something, or it's going to be a little bit more specific, probably don't want to live stream that. That's going to be something that you can put as a YouTube video or a TikTok or something more short form like that. A very quick, here's my top 3 ideas for this. Here's how you do this. And it's going to be a much shorter, faster form of content. The audience doesn't really want to see you doing all of the tips, right? They just want to hear what the tips are. Okay, what is it that the audience is looking for? Do they just want to hear the tips and then they're going to, over the week or whatever, they'll take those tips and apply it to whatever they are doing? That's you don't want to just live stream that. And you're probably not reaching as many people that way either, because not everyone is going to be able to catch the live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. I would love if you would thumbs up and subscribe if you have found this information helpful. Definitely want to be able to help people and share what I've learned and my experiences since I've been doing content creation for a very consistent almost 4 years that I've been doing content on a variety of platforms. And over that time, I've definitely learned a lot. So if you have gotten anything out of this, definitely would be grateful for that thumbs up and the subscribe so that other people can get help too. And if you have any questions, again, let me know in those comments below. What kinds of content platforms are you looking at potentially using over 2022? But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.